If I had to start learning programming from scratch in 2025, I will do a lot of things differently. When I first started, I made so many mistakes, wasted times on the wrong things, got stuck in tutorial hell, and honestly, there are times when I thought that I wasn't even smart enough to code. But looking back, I realized the problem wasn't me. It was my approach.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And if you're just starting out, I am here to help you avoid those same mistakes. And that's why I actually started this channel, to share my experience, to be the guide that I wish I had, and to remind beginners that learning to code does eventually get better. You do not have to struggle alone. So in this video, I'm breaking down things that I would do differently if I am starting afresh in 2025. Whether you're just getting started or you do not know what to do next, this video is for you. Alright, let's get into it. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Fumi from Bet Media. I am a senior web specialist. I know, I just recently got promoted.
Oh my god! Wow!
And I make videos to help beginners learn programming the right way. I know how overwhelming it can be, but my goal is to make coding feel less intimidating and more fun. Yes, I said it. Coding can be fun. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment, and let's start the video. Let's talk about what I did first when I was learning Python and why I would do things completely differently now. So let's rewind to when I first started learning Python. I didn't have a single programming experience. I didn't have a single programming background. I have never coded before. The first time I had to learn Python was doing my master's program. And let me tell you, it was tough. I had no idea what I was doing. Everyone seemed to just get it. And I felt like I was the only one struggling. I spent countless hours staring at error messages, watching tutorials after another, and just feeling lost. And I'm not going to lie to you, there were a lot of days where I actually cried, a lot of nights wondering if I would ever get it, if I even belonged in tech. I felt completely alone, like I was the only one who found it so hard. But here's what I wish someone would have told me sooner, that it is normal to struggle. Programming is a skill just like any other. It takes time. No one is born knowing how to code except you're a genius. If you're feeling that way now, you're not alone. And I promise you, it does get better. The real problem wasn't that I wasn't smart enough. It was how I was learning. I made tons of mistakes, like getting stuck in tutorial hell, focusing too much on memorizing syntax instead of actually coding, and not building real projects soon enough. I'm starting completely from scratch in 2025. No prior knowledge, no experience, just a fresh start. Here's how I will do it differently. Simple. I'll focus on three things: the right resources, the right mindset, and the right project. When I first started, I jumped from tutorials to tutorials, thinking that I needed to learn everything before I could actually code. Big mistake. Instead, here's what I would do. I will pick one structured resource and actually stick to it. This could be an interactive platform like FreeCodeCamp, or it could even be the official documentation, or a well-structured course. The key is to avoid getting overwhelmed with too many options. Just pick one and trust the process. The second thing is to focus on the right concept first. Another mistake I made was trying to learn everything all at once. Data types, OOP, advanced topics, before I even understood the basics. The basics are very important. But here's what I will do now. I will focus only on what actually helps me to start coding fast. So it could go from variables to loops to functions to list and dictionary and to basic problem solving. That's it. No need to dive into complex stuff like OOP or advanced algorithm right away. You will get there, but start simple and build from there. Number 3, avoid tutorial hell. That is the most important thing. The biggest mistake I made is that I spent months watching tutorials, but when I tried to write the code myself, I was stuck. If I had to do this again, I would follow the simple rule. For every 1 hour spent watching a tutorial, spend 2 hours coding. And the best way to apply what you learn is by building small projects. Even if they are basic, just build things. This helps you to focus, to think for yourself instead of just copying code. You can build a to-do list, you can build a number guessing game, simple calculator, and so on and so forth. The first time I built my own project from scratch, I finally started to feel like, yes, I got it.
Nice.
I can do this, and trust me, you will too. But there were things that I would completely avoid if I'm learning Python again. Let's talk about that next. What would I avoid this time? Number 1, spending too much time on syntax. In the beginning, I wasted so much time trying to memorize the syntax, thinking if I didn't remember everything, I wasn't good enough at coding. But here's the truth, nobody memorizes everything. Even experienced developers still Google syntax from time to time.
Yeah, boy.
Instead of trying to memorize, I would focus on understanding how to solve problems, because that is what actually makes you a good programmer. Number 2 of things that I would avoid, getting stuck in tutorial hell. We've talked about it, but it's worth repeating. Tutorials are great, but they would not make you a good programmer. If I had to start again, I would spend less time passively watching and more time actively building. So if you're watching tutorial after tutorial and you still don't feel confident on your own, stop, build something. Even if it's messy, even if you have to Google every 5 minutes, that is actually how you would learn. Number 3, thinking that I needed to learn everything before I start. No, you do not need to know everything to start coding. Learning programming is not about mastering everything up front. It's about learning what you need when you need it. If I had to start again, I will embrace the fact that learning to code is a journey and not a checklist. So now that we've covered the things that I would do differently, the things I would avoid, let me show you a step-to-step learning path that would actually work for you. So if I want to start again, here is the exact path that I would follow in order to achieve success, and you can follow it too. The step 1, learn just enough to get started. This first step is to learn just enough programming, C#, C++ to write basic programs. You do not need to know everything at once. Learn the basics, variables, loops, functions, list, and dictionary. For this, I would recommend an interactive platform like Free Code Camp or the Python official tutorial website. Or you can even check out the 100 Days of Python Programming Challenge that we had on this channel. But remember, don't just watch it, code along with it. Step 2, start building small projects. Once you've known the basic, don't just move on to another tutorial. Start building, even if it is something as simple as a to-do list, a calculator. The goal isn't to build something perfect. It is to apply what you have learned and for you to get comfortable with writing code. Step 3 is problem solving. At this point, I would start solving some coding challenges on site as LeetCode. Do not be worried if you cannot solve all the challenges that you see at LeetCode. Pick one at a time. Try to understand the problem. Break it down. Write a pseudocode, the steps that you will go to achieve the solution, and start practicing. Start coding. Again, you can Google as many times as you want. You can even use AI, but the most important thing is that you're learning. You're not just copying and pasting. Step 4, exploring libraries and real-world application. Once you've gotten comfortable with the basics, you will start exploring real-world application of Python. So either you want to go into web development, then you have to decide, do you need to learn Flask or Django? If you are going into data science, NumPy pandas, or if you're going into automation, Selenium, request. You do not need to master everything. Pick an area that you feel you're comfortable in and start experimenting with that. And then step 5, now that you have the area that you have chosen, start building projects and share it to the world. Share it on your GitHub, make a video about it, share your step. You do not know who might be watching. Your next hiring manager might actually be watching your TikTok video. Share your process, whether it's on GitHub, on LinkedIn, on your personal blog. Putting your work out there not only helps you track your progress, but it also opens up the door to opportunity. So if you follow this roadmap, I assure you, you will go from I don't know how to code to I can actually build something way faster than I did. But before we wrap things up, let me leave you with a final advice. When I started, I wasted so much time doubting myself, worrying that I wasn't smart enough, and comparing myself to others. But looking back, the only difference between the people who succeed and those who quit is that those who succeed actually kept going even when it is hard. So do not wait for a perfect moment. Pick a learning resources, write your first line of code, take it one step at a time, because if I can do it, trust me, you can too. So that's it for this video. Do not forget to subscribe, to like, to leave a comment, and let me know what has been the hardest part of your journey so far. Share it with me, share it in the comments, and let's build a community. Bye for now.